I swear, I've got so much football to talk about. The OTAs, this extraordinary access, all this additional information. But today, because of the news yesterday regarding the NFL draft, I'm going to take a one-day break from that. Good morning to you. Good Thursday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, and this is Daily Shot of Steelers. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates in the same place that you found this. It became official yesterday with announcements from the league, from the team, from the state, from the county, from the city, that the NFL draft is coming to Pittsburgh in 2026. This is, of course, a significant thing for those of us in the region, but especially right here in the heart of the region in downtown. There will be an impact of tens of millions of dollars in tangible money, meaning like on the spot, count the dollars money. There will also be incredible intangibles beyond that when it comes to the positive publicity that'll arise from something like this going well. Case in point, as we just witnessed, Detroit. Everyone's talking about the city of Detroit a little bit differently than they were just a few weeks ago. Why is that? We all saw the draft. We all saw the way Detroiters came out. We all saw the way it was carried out by all concerned, the pride with which they spoke. And without being that guy, Pittsburgh ain't Detroit. We never experienced anywhere near the hard fall that the Motor City did. And in fact, from our closure of the steel mills in the late 1970s and early 1980s, we've probably bounced back as much as any city in America from a loss that would fit into that category. We've got fresh new economies. The air, the water, the soil have never been cleaner. All the parks, all the amenities, all the residential happenings in the core once deemed unthinkable. The volume of corporations and other major benefactors and foundations, our educational institutions, our brand new $2 billion airport. We've got stuff happening. And for the longest time, the NFL's only acknowledgement of our city has been to show a couple of smokestacks blowing before Monday Night Football. The Steel City. We don't have a single steel mill within city limits. Haven't had one in forever. Let me repeat this because I always get pushback on this. Not one. Having one in Clairton doesn't count. Clairton's not Pittsburgh. Clairton is Clairton. Pittsburgh is its own city. In the city of Pittsburgh, where there used to be seas of steel mills going up and down the Monongahela and Ohio rivers, there are exactly zero. We're defined now by our resilience, the way we overcame that era, the way we've cleaned up from that era, but we're not defined by that era. We're not defined by the 1970s and 1980s. And for me, as a born and raised Pittsburgher, right here, right downtown, that's something that I can't wait to see us show the rest of the football world and really the whole world when it comes to who watches the NFL draft anymore, which I think airs on 3 networks simultaneously, as if we're like communist Russia or something, where you just flip the channels and the same programs on every channel. We have a chance to educate people about what Pittsburgh is now, who Pittsburghers are now. Not who they were in the 1970s and the early 1980s. I'm talking right now. We have a chance to invite, when you think about over the span of 3 full days of this, and no one even really needing a ticket, more than 1 million people will pass through the Golden Triangle. The Golden Triangle, which measures 1.25 miles from the Point State Park fountain to City Hall on Grant Street. That's it. That's the size of our downtown. With all our magnificent, storied architecture, all our history, all of our people, some of the best of our people. And for all of this, and this is why I wanted to do this episode today, I feel as if the city, all of us who are here, and all of us who aren't here, but who love the city, and who want to see it do well, to want to see it continue to thrive, should be aware that this NFL draft, what might be the largest spectator event in the history of this city, is coming here because of only one individual, and that is Art Rooney II. Today at 1:30 p.m. at a press conference at Acrisure Stadium, Rooney's going to be there. He's going to be surrounded by the governor of Pennsylvania, the Allegheny County executive, the mayor, a bunch of other, who knows, senators and this and that and whatever. And this having absolutely nothing to do with party politics, which I don't touch with a 30-foot radioactive pole. Not one of these people, especially not the Visit Pittsburgh people, who will also be there, or any other Convention and Visitors Bureau type of thing, will have had a damn thing to do with this. This was Rooney's baby from beginning to end. He was the one who went to the league, to Roger Goodell, and said, in all this time, including when Dan Rooney was alive, you, the NFL, gave us nothing. No Super Bowl, no, what do they call these things? Medallion events or something like that. It's an inside the league term. No draft, no nothing, zero. And even though you gave the state of New Jersey a Super Bowl, and they don't have a roof, we realize you're never going to give one to Pittsburgh. And you'll claim that it's because we have no roof, as if we don't know that the Super Bowl in New Jersey happened. Well, here I am. I'm Art Rooney. I'm more than 70 years old. That's enough. We're getting one of these things. Make it happen. And you know what? They've been working on this for a couple of years now, the Steelers have. All of that emanating from a single individual. He's wanted this to happen, and now it's going to happen. And in 2 years, you're going to see a stage that's lined up against the side of Acrisure Stadium that faces PNC Park. And you're going to see all of that surface area, and yes, there is still surface area there, considerable surface area, filled with humanity. And you're going to have America's best skyline as the backdrop just across the river. You're going to have all three of the Sisters Bridges set off for pedestrians only, activities galore. The convention center is going to be set up for just activities. Point State Park, one of America's treasures, is going to be utilized. Our entire downtown, all mile and a quarter of it, is going to be jam-packed with humanity. And don't let anybody else take credit for it. One guy. When we come back, J1Q.
This segment of Daily Shot is brought to you by our good friends at Mike's Beer Bar. They're located on Federal Street, directly across from PNC Park. Mike has more than 500 beers on tap, including from more than 50 local breweries. Stop in and say hello. Tell Mike we sent you. Mike's Beer Bar. Today's J1Q comes from Chris. And as he openly acknowledges here, this is actually two questions, which normally would get you the big buzzer, but Chris is making a good point here. His first question, his main question is, DK, has Russell Wilson been the teammate and the guy to get the younger guys together? The answer to that, Chris, is, it's only been a couple of days of OTAs, but the impression that I have, and what's impressed me the most about him, is that he's gone out of his way to make others comfortable around him. He's in a bit of a strange spot if you think about it. He's a really, really famous dude. He's not somebody who can, walk through downtown and not be recognized. And I know that because it's happened since he's been here. And he's not somebody who's going to be able to just pretend that he's one of the guys. He has to take it upon himself to make sure that everybody else in the room, but especially the guys who are going to be part of his offense, feel comfortable around him, feel comfortable approaching him as needed or even as wanted. He's done that. Calvin Austin told me some stories about Russ's first few weeks with the Steelers and the way he's related to guys, the way he's gone up to these, I mean, I don't want to call them nobodies or whatever, but, the very, very bottom of the depth chart, okay? And he makes sure that every one of them gets a, "Hi, I'm Russ." And beyond that, he's gone to his players and he's made it clear that he wants to hear from them what it is that they like. And that goes double for the ones who are going to be, in all likelihood, the starters around him at the skill positions. Pat Freiermuth was telling me that Russ and him have talked endlessly about just the tiniest little details. How he likes the ball when he goes out in this direction, which ways Russ is most comfortable releasing the ball, how the ball comes out of Russ's hands, which if you haven't seen him play in a while or you don't have that mental image, it's not the same as all quarterbacks. Russ is really distinct back there. And Freiermuth was praising him on this count. The offensive line is saying a lot of the same things about Russ. He is urging them to embrace the physical identity that Arthur Smith wants. Russ wants everyone to know that even though, he's that finesse quarterback and he's going to be scrambling every once in a while, and he did it a couple of times already in OTAs, he enjoys, according to Russ and what he's telling these players, being part of that. He wants to be the quarterback that's leading that. So all of this, on one hand, you can say that it doesn't mean anything because, it's a couple days into OTAs. It's the third week of May. But you got to start somewhere. And by every account, it started really well. Now, to your second question, because I see that you have it here, and you are not the only one to bring this up because I'm a dope for forgetting it in the first place. And that is that I promised the other day on a show that I was going to end by telling everybody the best way to get the J1Qs in here. And I just blanked out and didn't do it at all. And there are two different ways to do this. One, and this is my preferred way because this is the one that I check the most often. If you're on DK Pittsburgh Sports, if you're a member of our community, a subscriber to our app or website, meaning the one that we've had in play for 10 years now, where you see these podcasts presented in article form, there are comment sections attached to that. If you're there, your chance of getting your Q on is really, really good because that's the one place I will read 100% of everything because I have to. That's our company. If what's there doesn't line up on a given day, I'll check our YouTube channel, specifically the comments underneath the YouTube version of Daily Shot of Steelers. But so yeah, it's those two, and sorry for the brain lapse there. I appreciate the reminder and the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Steelers, and we will do another one of these tomorrow.